picture this. Scene 1. The room is dark. People sit in chairs with their hands flat on the table. A sudden chill fills the room. A familiar voice speaks from the shadows. Scene 2. Hands cover each other on top of the moving triangle. It darts from letter to letter, spelling out words, answering questions. Scene 3. The figure of a young man bumps the foot of the bed in the blackness of midnight. Mama? Then he's gone. What's going on there? Who's spelling words on the Ouija board? Who's by Mom's bed in the middle of the night? Is it our dead friends reaching out to us from the great beyond? That's what some people think. According to a recent Roper poll, about 20% of Americans said they believe the deceased can communicate with the living. And only 50% of Americans completely rule out the possibility some people can communicate with the dead. Go to the little town of Lilydale, New York, on a warm summer day. You'll find the place crammed with visitors, most of them hoping to connect with deceased loved ones. In Lilydale, they say, most everyone is either a psychic or a ghost, or maybe a medium, a witch doctor, a channeler, or a shaman. Lilydale claims to be the world's largest center for the religion of spiritualism. Who are they talking to there? Apparitions, ghosts, spirits, hobgoblins, poltergeists, and spooks? If you were one of the 22,000 summer visitors in Lilydale, you'd be thinking that the dead know something you don't know, and you'd be hoping they'd let you in on it. But you might want to check with God first. What does he say about talking to the dead? You might be surprised. Turns out God has quite a bit to say about familiar spirits and the mediums who consult with them, and about wizards and necromancers and the like. He says, if you've got questions, talk to me. Listen to this. When someone tells you to consult mediums and spiritists who whisper and mutter, should not a people inquire of their God? Why consult the dead on behalf of the living? There's more. I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spiritists, and I will cut them off from their people. Why is this such a big deal to God? Well, first and foremost, God knows that the voices from the other side are not our dead loved ones. The dead are truly dead. They cannot talk. They're beyond the possibility of communication of any kind. God knows those voices are evil spirits impersonating the dead. And he wanted to protect his people from this direct contact with demons. Israel's Canaanite neighbors had a satanic religion. They worshiped the dead and consulted evil spirits. Their demonic practices included horrific rites like forcing their children to walk through fire and even killing them as sacrifices to their demon gods. This religion found its roots clear back in the Garden of Eden. You remember the famous story of the forbidden fruit? God said, don't eat it or you'll die. Satan, disguised as a serpent, told Eve, God's wrong, you won't die. So she ate the fruit. Adam did too. And they died just as God had said. And that's where the deception really kicks in. The lie that says they didn't really die because the dead aren't really dead. God warned Adam and Eve about death because it was their ultimate enemy. Death would be the end of their lives, period. The end of thoughts and relationships, the end of any involvement with the living, the disintegration or decreation of the entire person into a pile of dust. Listen to this. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. Nevermore will they have a share in anything done under the sun. So, where does that ghostly voice you hear at the seance come from? What force moves your hand across the Ouija board? Who is that familiar apparition that haunts your night? If the dead are truly dead, if the Bible is right about all of that, then you have been deceived by a lie. You've been targeted by evil spirits. God understands our curiosity and our desire to know what can't be seen, which is why he's given us his word to warn us against lying spirits. The Bible steers us through these dark deceptions and points us to Jesus Christ, who guides us to the light of his truth and the promise of eternal life.